heads the global pre-sales organization for Freshworks. He drives a team for technical solution delivery and sales engineering operations for our global projects, as well as he is a technologist by passion. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and let's welcome Mr. Vinod Chandramouli, Global Head, Pre-Sales Freshworks.
Nothing to do with this video being played and the other videos did not, number one. And I also had nothing to do with you guys not having lunch on time. But it looks like we have to go with what we have. So my name is Vinod, and for the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to get away with making 3 bold statements, a personal story about customer experience I had, and then hopefully drive home the message on what Freshworks does. Okay, so let's look at this image. I think everybody who's been old enough, I did a presentation a few weeks ago. Some of them didn't even know what these objects were. But I'm assuming most of you know what this is. So we've got an old telephone, we've got an old Zoom player, and then we've got TomTom, which is the GPS. Now this is the old way of working. A few years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, all of us must have had one of these or most of these devices with ourselves. And then came along a company and made this one single device which could do pretty much everything the other ecosystem could do. Now what I call it, the old way of working, is transition, and then the new way of working is transformation. So I am here to talk about what transformation really is in the customer experience world, and how, from my perspective and the learning I've had, we sort of look at transition for a brand. So I had a problem with the flyer miles, and I had nothing to do with jet privilege. I'm saying if that gentleman's here, but I had a problem with flyer miles, and the problem I had was I had to change my name. Very small 5-letter in my name had to be changed. It took me 4 months and almost 8 agents I had to speak to, and almost 7 hours of productive time before I could get it changed. And I'm assuming most of you must have also faced something similar every single time you go and try to talk to a brand and try to get something done. Especially when the previous gentleman told about warranty and the replacement and all of it, right? So I had a very similar problem. Now what the customer expects, and what I as a customer, an unhappy customer actually, expected was fast and accurate information, which would have really made me a happy customer. So at the core of it, you've got fast and accurate information. If I contact a brand, I need to be able to get that information back so I can go about doing my own thing. So for you to get that fast and accurate information, you need automated answers. That's number one. And I'm not talking about a random AI, which is sending out a random message every single time you talk to them. You need to actually have this meaningful automated answers. The second one is you need to be able to get the request to the right agent so they can actually go about answering the query. Then you've got context, which is they know that I'm calling, they know that I have an issue, and they also know that this is the issue, this is the right solution. And then finally, knowledge from the agent side, so they are not blabbering what they want to, but actually trying to find the right solution. But you know, I mean, happy customer is okay, but who cares about happy customer? What we need to drive home is wowing your customers, right? That goes beyond just being a happy customer. Now, how do you go about making your happy customer into wow? That's what your customers aren't expecting you to do, but if you do it, you really are driving home the brand value, right? So how are you providing great experience? So at the core of it, you've got less hands-off, right? I'll talk about what less hands-off mean in just a few slides down the line. The next one is transparency, right? I need to know where my problem is. I need to know what the brand is doing to solve for my problem, and it shouldn't be a black screen of death where it goes in and we just don't know what's happening to my issue. I also need to know that I'm being treated really well. Personalization is important. A few weeks ago, or a few months ago, there was a tweet on somebody who sent out a tweet to this airline and they said, hey, you know what, I had a beautiful experience, thank you so much. And then a tweet, an auto tweet came back and it said, we are really sorry for the inconvenience caused, we really hope we'll change it the next time, right? You've got to personalize it, but to a certain extent. And then finally, you've got to do proactive support. The best support is when you don't let your customers reach are able to find the support and be able to solve for it, right? So that's how you wow your customers. So this is digital transition, which is going from unhappy customer to a happy customer. What is digital transformation is wowing your customer every single time they reach out to the brand. So let me start with how do you approach digital transformation, and then I'll come to my bold statements. One is talking to all the customers and engaging with them. Step number one is view your customer journey or your customer experience as the gateway to successful digital transformation, right? It isn't what your system is today, it isn't what the tools you have today, it's how are your customers talking to you or to the brand. Step number two is you've got to get ready to embrace a cross-organizational technical initiative, right? It could be anything. It could be process. It could also be tools. And somebody told this morning that if the CFO and the CMO is not standing right next to the CTO to solve a customer problem, then you're doing it wrong. And that's exactly what I mean by cross-organizational approach. And then step number three is continuously improve on the customer engagement by accepting new age technology. And it's perfectly fine for us to start our journey at some point and use a legacy system. But then there are so many tools and systems out there which help you solve these problems. And these are new age technologies which can be approached, but organizations need to look at this as an innovation first approach. So let me start with my first bold statement. Do you guys really think that multi-channel, offering multiple channels, has the same experience as omni-channel? How many of you think that this statement is correct? That's fine if you think that it is. It actually is not, so I am in front of an educated audience. So it is not. Just because you're offering multiple ways of supporting or selling your customers does not mean that the customer is getting an omni-channel experience. And I'll give you an example. Again, going back to my airline issue, I said, you know what, this is my frequent flyer number, and this is the problem I have, and for some technical reason my call gets disconnected, and 20 minutes later I'm calling them back again, and they have no idea who I am, they have no idea that I spoke for half an hour with an agent, and they have no idea about the context I have, right? So I call this touchpoint amnesia, and brands usually have it. You go to any B2C or B2B brand, they have what I call touchpoint amnesia. So when Decathlon came to Freshworks, they were offering multiple channels. I'm assuming most of you must have walked into their cool, showrooms, and they had multiple channels in which they were supporting. Freshworks platform helped them, but they wanted a little more than just offering multiple channels, right? They wanted collaboration between all the channels, between all the agents. What they now have, actually, it goes beyond just the traditional way of emails and phone. You must have seen this kiosk with data in it if you've ever gone to the sales counter when you're checking out. And this is powered at the back end by Freshworks. And the beauty of it is when you hit this unhappy survey or when you hit just a neutral one, a ticket gets created, a sales agent calls the customer and identifies and understands why he or she was unhappy and then sort of solves for it. Right? So instant gratification for the customer, real-time feedback for the brand, which means that the experience goes from being unhappy customer to actually adding wow to your customer, right? So, next statement, bold statement number 2, the current support model is broken. And it's just not the support, it's the sales and everything else. Primarily because every time a customer engages with your brand, what they actually feel is they are in a frustrated assembly line. They're going from one department to another, just like how I was thrown between my privilege department to the airline department, back to the privilege department. And it just feels very frustrating. And over again this morning, a lot of people spoke about having silos within the organization. One organization or one department within an organization not talking to another. And that's how your customers are feeling. What we really like to actually have in customer experience should be something like this. That's your customer getting to talk to your brand. That's everybody in the organization working to solve for it, and that's your customer checking out. right? And it should be holistic, it should be collaborative, and it should absolutely bring wow moments to your customer. By the way, that's the latest record, I think 1.45 or 2.1 seconds, where they changed 4 tires, cleaned the wiper of the driver, and then put in full tank and then sent him back into the race, right? That's how your customers should be interacting with you or sort of getting the experience. So let's go to my final bold statement, which is artificial intelligence is going to be bigger than the invention of the wheel. Again, a lot of people hate me for saying this, but it really is true. Because there's a very famous gentleman called Mark Anderson who actually said a few years ago that software is going to eat the world. And this was when the world was moving away from server to client interaction, Web 2.0 was picking up, and a lot of companies were looking at software, SaaS was picking up, a lot of good things were happening, right? So we're going from here, thanks to these technologies, which is machine learning, which is bots, which is NLP, collaborative tools, everybody's got it. Every service provider out there talks about it. Every customer wants this, it's real, it's no longer just a myth. So this new statement, which I think is going to change the world, which is AI is going to eat the software, which is eating the world. I really think AI, powering AI in your sales, in your support, in any decision you make, is really going to change the way things are going to work. So to conclude, I think work is going to become very interesting for all of us, both from the service provider side and also from the brand side. So I'm going to take a quick second to talk about who we are. We are Freshworks. We've been in this industry of customer experience for the last 8 years. We have $250 million in funding. We are one of the India's first product unicorn company. We have 2,000 employees spread across 5 different regions in the world. We've got 9 products which all cater to customer engagement on the cloud. And we've made 9 acquisitions. We cater to 150 different countries and 150,000 businesses on our platform. And these are some of our products. We've got a booth right where you're going to have food strategically placed so you guys can interact with our sales team, understand what our product really is, and even have conversation about these bold statements to see if I'm really right or wrong. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you so much. Let's welcome Dr. Amit Chakrapani, founder and managing director of CRM Academy of Asia, to give a moment